Hi, so today I'm going to share with you my Traveler's Company, the little 3 fold file, my hack that I do for that. And in doing so, I kind of came up with another little idea hack. And so I needed to cut another folder, and I figured, let me video it just in case somebody else might want to do something like this as well. So I'm Tammy Inman, and this is A Peach Life. And let's get started with my Travelers, the clear file, like the clear file fold number 029. Okay, so I normally would do that for, and put it, my notebook in here to kind of give it a protective cover for like the decor that I put on, like the stickers, and also just to keep my notebook nice. So if you've ever got one of these, you know they're quite large. You can put a full-size sheet of paper, legal size, I think, in here, and you put it in your notebook and you fold that all up and all of that goodness. Well, that is not what I do. You can see this is much larger and it doesn't work that way. And then also, if you go with the fold that they have there, it's too small. It doesn't work that way either. So just note, you're gonna have to trim some of this off. And let me just say a couple things that I've learned. Always trim from the right side, which is near the back side of your thing. Don't trim near the front, because if you notice, when I trim on the back, the piece of tape that I put on shows on the back and works out nicely back there. If you get a little overzealous there and quickly can't wait to cut your notebook, I cut from the front part, and so my washi ends up on the front. And I used a wide washi, which really thickened it up on there. So always cut, when I show you, we're gonna cut this, we're gonna cut from the right side. Let me put the trimmer underneath here so you can kind of see better. So we're gonna cut from this side, and then you can just slip your notebook in. So I do a little tiny trim off the top of mine too. It's not necessary, that's up to you, but let's go ahead and get started. And I'm gonna show you my newer hack. So remember, as your notebook gets thick, if you didn't make the width wide enough, it'll get too tight, just like anything would. So this one, I made it a little wider. I knew this notebook was gonna chunk up. So let me just show you. So this is like super lovely to cover a notebook, right? So we're gonna trim that up, we're gonna make that. But I wanna show you, I thought of something else for it, and which is what I created this one originally for. So you just slide that out. And again, you don't need all this. You can use clear packing tape. Here I use this really thin, nice, it's kind of like a Scotch tape. I had it for years and years and years and finally ran out shortly ago. It's so good because it sticks really good. You could use washi tape if you have a really nice strong one. Okay, so my point is I want to show you. This was my point of it. I show with the zipper, the Traveler's Company zipper little insert, how you can utilize like 3 notebooks, but, or how I utilize 3 notebooks for my watercolor booklet. So if you do that, let me just show you. And you take your cover, you can then just slip that in and it fits right inside there. You see? And so you put that in, and then it holds 2 notebooks, and then you have room for your 3rd additional notebook. Watch, let me take this out for you so you guys can really see better. So when we'll throw that little part up there. So when I slid that under the elastic, I also punched little half circles on the ends, or you could just trim at an angle. So I want to show you, you would just take your insert and put it right in there, and then you have your insert in the middle, and then you can also take and put your insert there. You can also take and put another insert here, and then you have all 3 really nice, and it doesn't do that weird push out like it does when you use the elastic band, whether you use this elastic to bind your notebooks together or you use the rubber band type one, that's the Travelers Company one. You'll notice that middle does this weird jet. When you do this, it doesn't. So, but you want to make sure you cut it and you get it at the right width. Therein lies the whole thing. And then also, if you have one notebook that you feel like, oh, maybe that's a little too loose for you, a good little hack is to take your pin board and just slide that in, and then that just really, you could see, took a good pulling on it to remove it. That really inserts it more in there. But note, if you put those pin boards in on both sides, you're going to need more width. You're going to need, oh, let's see. Why did that do that? Let me move this real quick. Okay. You're going to need to, when you trim down this piece, you're going to need to keep a wider middle, like the more notebooks and things you're going to put in there. Or figure how they're going to bulk up over time. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to, where this line is here, I'm going to trim about a ½ inch from that line. And I'd like to just show you on my other one real quick. So on this one, the one part I trimmed, I put the tape on. The other part I left just kind of there. On my other one, I taped this piece down also. But for me, I didn't tape it down because I didn't want that to show in the back. And because this tape is so strong, it's holding that little piece right on. Okay, so with all that, we will get started. I just want to always double, triple check. You can measure twice, 3 times, 4 times, but you can only cut once. Oh, okay. I get what I did on this one. I did this one a little different than my last one. So I think I'm going to do this one exactly like I did this one. Yeah, that's so good. All right, so when I'm here with you, I just want to make sure I'm giving you the exact. I see how and why. Okay, so when you do this one, I had just done another one and I was wondering why it wasn't as wonderful and lovely as this. So this is definitely how we want to do this. On the line, we want to actually cut on the line, not that ½ inch like I said. We want to cut on the line because when we put the other piece, the little bend over, it's going to give the little fold. I'll show you how that works out. Okay, we just cut that right off. Bingo. So now you can see if you wanted and you thought like it might expand over time, you could just keep the whole part in there. You don't have to trim more off. Now I'm going to trim more of mine off, but you know, if you just kept it with this portion and you ever needed to expand it as your notebook, sorry, let me go up here, as your notebook maybe gets wider over time, then you can pull that and expand it further. You would just peel your tape off or your washi, whatever you used. You'll need to also take a little notch out of the bottom, and I will show you. So this is definitely some hacking, but it is beyond worth it. Okay, so when you put that all the way in, you can see this is the amount. Can you see that? There's a small little portion right there that you would trim. So we want to do that on this side, not the other side. All right. I don't want to confuse you guys. Let's leave that be. Let's leave that be for a moment. All right, we're gonna go over here. I'm figuring this is about mine. It is that small amount, so I'm gonna notch that out with you guys. I'm just gonna go ahead and start, and I am just eyeballing mine. And I'm gonna take it right here. I left a little tiny spot. I don't really think you need to, because that little gap would kind of be where your strings and stuff go anyways. Okay, let's see. Yeah. I left that little tiny piece, like a 1/2 inch, I didn't cut off. Let me show you on the blue. There we go. This is at the bottom. So I just cut a little piece and I left about a 1/2 inch right there. But that's where we're gonna put our little elastic curve in anyways. Our little curve for the elastic. So, like I said, I would normally trim mine to how much I want, but as your notebooks grow, you may need to adjust. So you might not want to do that, is my point. So let's not trim it down further on this one. Let me just show you. Okay, we're in. And then I'll just take a piece of my washi tape. Well, I like these ones, the clear, since I don't have my clear tape anymore. I like these clear ones because they stick really good. So I think I'm just going to use this on mine. Ooh. Wow. I decide I want to get 3 of those guys in there. They're so cute. Okay. This is just the back flap right there. And that is holding it in place. And I want to show you with mine. See, it can remove right off. And then you have, sorry, the 2 parts. You have the 2 parts. The tape is on this back part we trimmed off. And I apologize for any confusion there is at the moment. I'm trying not to have it confusing, but I know just cutting this is like a little worrisome for people. But remember, we just trimmed right on the back right line. And this, we took a little piece out. We notched it out, but we left a little spot. Leaving that little spot, if you cut it all the way to the other line, don't worry. It's not a big deal in any way. I might end up just trimming mine anyways. Okay, so then now we're gonna take this and we're gonna set it back in there. Okay, and I'm leaving that whole piece of mine on, just like I was telling you guys. We can, you could see you could trim it off here underneath. You could have trimmed some of that off. But if I do need to adjust it later, like I mentioned, it would be nice having it on there. You could fold these over if you wanted to. I'm just going to take and trim mine off. And it's actually really super simple. I don't mean to make it confusing. And like I said, your notebooks are like a pinch higher. If you wanted to trim that, I don't. I like it just how it is. So let me show you. We would take our notebook, slide it in here, and then, well, I guess I should do both sides at the same time. Let me scoot that stuff out of the way. We just take our notebook, the back and front, and slide it in there. There we go. Okay, I made mine a little tight. So good. So I would definitely then recommend, you can see how if I made a mistake, and I've made probably like 5 or 6 of these, it's possible. Okay, so I would just give a little more give to my spacing there. The middle is what you're wanting to do. I would give a little bit more to that. Not much, so that the middle has room. Maybe like that much. I think that's good. Okay, and then also if you don't cut that extra piece off like I normally do, you could then use this cover for other things also. So I'm going to first show you for like the original cover I showed at the very beginning, where you just slip your notebook in there. Okay, there we go. And it's in. I still have that at maybe a pinch tight still. And then these guys are on the back. Just know if you don't trim that off like I normally do, you're gonna have this little piece showing. But if you put some stickers and different things, or you slide paper or another image back there, you won't notice it. But let's get to the other thing where you put the 3 in. I'm gonna use this as reference for how wide I want that, and then I will tell you what those are real quick. So we're going to take that out. This one is, let me grab my ruler. This one that held the 3 inserts is, oops, just over 9 inches. I'll let you see that. You guys see that right there? Let me put the blue notebook behind. Okay. There, you get a good little idea. I'm gonna go ahead and go one little pinch more there, maybe to 1/4. I think this one I'm gonna go to 9 1/4 because I want to allow mine to thicken up, and I want to be able to put those pencil boards in there. So I'll go here and I'll put this one down. I guess I'm going to put that under. So I normally don't measure or do any of this stuff. I just want you guys to know I just turned the video on really quick because I'd already cut the other cover and I only had one more of these clear blank ones left. And I thought if I show this in my video, this cover, you guys might then want to know, well, how did you do that? And then I don't have another cover. Okay, when you leave that little notch, like I told you on the end, how I cut that little piece off, and you could see there where I trimmed that off, and I left a little spot. It leaves like a little notch there. And it could be your elastic, but if you trim that all the way to the other line, again, it is no big deal. Okay, so that's in, and then I'm gonna kind of just not crease it, but give it a little something there at the middle. I will tell you guys, I didn't do that super straight. So I want to do it straight so everything lines up for you guys. Let me go back to my little line here. I think I'm better without the ruler. I think I am better without the ruler, just on my own. Also, you won't have the tape on first. You put the tape on once you get it exactly in place. So that is now throwing me. I don't want to remove my tape, but I might have to. Okay, I think I got it pretty darn close, yeah. Okay, so now this is really simple. Let's get our notebook back. The cover. Let's put a little, you could put a little notch, like a curved notch at the top, or you could just take and your scissor and go at a little angle, and it gives it a little curve for the elastic to sit in. But you have to trim that little bottom piece so that it can sit in here flush. Okay, so that's in. Then we're gonna take our insert. Let's see. I have this one at the front. We'll take and put that guy in there. And then, this is a really thick one. This one is like an art journal one. And then my monthly. I'll go to November. You put that in. I'll probably take and put, there we are, my month. And then, there you go. It's all in there. Super nice. Can you guys see that? It really sits lovely. And I'm going to kind of just open and close it. I'm not having to fuss with it is my point. And you can see it's still nice. It doesn't do that jet out that typically does when you put the elastic or the rubber band and then you insert this in the middle. And then this is like the best of all worlds because you're getting a clear protective cover on the front. If you don't use this wide of the clear, not washi, what is that? The PT kind of like tape, washi kind of like tape, or masking tape, then your design will show through. But I will tell you, I like that this time in talking that through with you guys, that I didn't trim that back off in case I need to adjust it. Like I was telling you, like it will get tight as your notebook tightens up. This one I had here when I did it as a 3, it was getting pretty tight. Now I could take the elastic off and adjust a little bit. And then I will show you this one I made just for a single notebook, and I won't be able to adjust it in any way if I wanted to use it for the 3 later. So again, look at that. No jetting. Everything stays flush and lovely and nice. It is It is one of my favorite hacks. I love the zipper one and utilizing them, either the zipper, putting the notebooks in the front or putting them in the back. And that video I did, it was I believe my watercolor ones. I'll make another video showing that. I don't want to make this one too long and showing those two options. But once I do make that video, I'll link it here in the description as well, and vice versa. On that video, I'll link this one in the description as well, so you guys can find those. Other than a little hint of the confusion in there, which was really just me trying to find the best way for you guys, because like I said, it can get tight, but any cover, like, it will have its limits, where this one is even better than that, because now you got that little layover. You can just open that up, widen it a little bit, tape it back. And I'm telling you, this doesn't move. This goes nowhere. So if you have strong washi tape and you want to use as decorative, great. But I love this tape because it peels back off easily, but yet holds really good in place. So, and if you don't like that little line that's kind of there, like I said before, you could just take something you create or make and slide that in place, and you won't see that there. Or just add a few like vinyl stickers or something to it. But this is one of my very, very favorite hacks of mine, making it as a cover and then also as the other. You could, if you wanted to, just so everything's like protective on your covers. I know sometimes my covers, the stickers will kind of get mussed up on them throughout the year. And so sometimes I was just taking the time to scan them in and printing, and then just doing a full one sheet on top so that it wouldn't get messed up. But again, you can now make a small version for a single notebook of this, and then it's right on there nicely. It's just the best. And so I wanted to make sure I wasn't just showing in my video mine of how nice mine is and not being able to clarify, because you can see having one to trim, it was already a little bit interesting. But just so you know, the simplest thing is to trim on the far right crease and take that little hint off the bottom when you trim that off. So, okay, I'm going to stop so I don't confuse you at all with this. But look how nice. Is that so nice? And then you have one with a clear cover. And again, you can, I mean, my book's not really moving, but you can see it can slide easy. But the moment you put this in here, it doesn't do that slide easy like it did without it. So you might want it for like the front cover one. But now I have space in mine that I could do two. And if for whatever reason you don't have space, remember you can peel your tape off and give yourself a little more width. Look at how lovely and nice that is. It's so good. And with the tabs kind of come out a little, but without the tabs, nothing pokes out, not even the smallest amount. They're in there. They're just shy of it, but they are inside there. And that is a thick art journal notebook, the monthly and the weekly insert. Okay. One of my favorite traveler's notebook hacks. Thanks for joining me. And if you guys like it, please like the video. And if you're going to give it a try, let me know. Or if maybe you've already done this and I'm not the only one, let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thanks so much.